So let's dive in to some of the core best practices that define effective IT financial management. These are the foundational elements that help organizations start with effective cost tracking and then move on to mature to proactive value creation. So how can we move from cost tracking to value creation? The first best practice I want to talk about is establishing financial transparency. We all need to start by creating a clear, shared understanding of IT costs across the organization. You see these costs outlined here in the center of the slide, all adding up to a total cost of IT. But it's not just about a clear, shared understanding of these different costs. It is also about breaking down silos between finance, IT, and business units. If we don't do that, we won't be able to make costs visible, traceable, and explainable. The second best practice we want to take a look at is linking all spend to business outcomes. Every dollar spent on IT should be tied to a business capability or to a strategic objective. This linkage helps justify investments, prioritize funding, and communicate value to stakeholders. The next best practice I want to talk about is implement cost allocation models. We've all done this to some extent in the past, but it's critical. Use chargeback or showback models to allocate costs to departments or services. This encourages accountability and helps business units understand the true cost of the services they consume. Now let's move on to a couple that we don't always all do that well. Enable forecasting and scenario planning. If we're going to do IT financial management right, we need to move beyond static budgets. We need to use forecasting tools and scenario models to anticipate changes, adjust plans, and optimize spending, if not in real time, but on an ongoing basis. All of this leads to the fact that in order to do IT financial management right, we finally need to adopt a continuous improvement mindset. We need to treat ITFM as an ongoing discipline, not just a one-time initiative. We need to regularly review financial performance, identify inefficiencies, and look for opportunities to reinvest savings into innovation. This is at the heart of a lot of what we're going to be talking about, reinvesting savings into innovation when we look at our strategic portfolio. Okay, I did mention in the beginning, we are going to go into some examples. So let me start with an example of a life sciences firm I've worked with recently. And one division of a large pharmaceutical client was undergoing a digital transformation. In addition to this digital transformation, they had an overall IT budget of close to $400 million. However, when they took a closer look, they realized that less than $40 million, just 10% of their total spend, was available for strategic projects. The rest was tied up in workforce costs, depreciation, software licensing, and the other things you see here on the slide. Well, by implementing leading IT financial management practices, especially around the core fundamental of spend transparency, they were able to more than double their strategic investment capacity. So what do I mean by that? They increased their available budget for innovation to nearly $100 million, over 25% of their total IT spend, without increasing their overall IT budget. We can see that this is the power of visibility and detailed financial management. It unlocks value that's already there, so that the organization can work on it. So here we have best practices from the backbone of a mature ITFM capability, and they're essential for organizations, your organization, that wants to make smarter, more strategic decisions about where and how they invest in technology.